Hi there. Welcome back to Rosa Reads, Mia and I. Today's date is April 12th, 2025. Today I'm going to be reading Chapter 5, Scam Artists. Thea. So what do I write about? Just anything you want, really. Mia praises my question with a hearty thumbs up, as if the gesture answers me perfectly. I suppose it does. If you can call this scrawled scrapwork of back-and-forth sibling anarchy a work journal, I doubt I need to be that task-oriented. Just let us know when you're done and we'll hitch off. Take your time, no rush. Mia slips out the scrapped remains of their tent, leaving me alone in the decrepit ruins of my own making. Blood pressure's a hot-button concern these days, and those two are driving me to a premature grave. I'm a bit too young for the at-risk demographic, though. And it was rather crappy of me to bust up their tent. But seriously, a princess? Let alone the other 3 ordinary clowns I've been saddled with as my potential lost twins, whatever the hell that means. Well, okay, I know what it means conceptually. According to them, I've been mystically brain-jacked with some affluent twat from Nowheresburg. Unless, of course, I've swapped with the Dravekian princess, in which case she's holed up in Prunella Castle in Prunella City, the capital of Drevik. You know, the second most populated city on the continent. A continent with over 30 million other people, according to last year's census. But of course I swapped with the direct member of the royal bloodline. That makes total sense, right? Those two are arguing again. Something about bears. Probably something to do with Mia's unsatisfied craving for black bear venison from breakfast. Just ignore them, Thea. I haven't doled out the necessary man-hours to process anything here. Not the demon, not the magic, and certainly not the lost stuff. Aiden's demon ecology book is right there next to me, and I'd love nothing more than a carriage ride back to Faenor to parse its foreign contents. Maybe the book can concisely convey what demons are without sibling arguments in at least 24. I'll get to that in a minute. But there's nothing tenable about walking and reading. Vidnir Forest is root central. I'm liable to stumble and snap my neck sideways if I'm not careful. Small wonder I didn't pratfall fleeing from that demon yesterday. And besides, it's not like the book's going to explain anything other than demons. So for now, I just have to make do with unscrambling last night's nonsense. Well, apparently demons are natural, and they eat memories, and those sharp claw things are only for climbing and digging holes. Gotcha. What else? So magic is very much real, and anyone can learn it? Okay. Oh, and I'm apparently a victim of some inexplicable anomaly that switched my mind with someone else, as clearly evidenced by a slight memory discrepancy. Uh-huh. Sure. Oh, and by the way, we don't know why it happened, so those other 4 on the list may have swapped with you, but also maybe not. So we're just going on best guesses here. Silly me, I almost forgot. We obviously can't know who it is without you meeting them in person, Thea, so I guess it's time for a road trip, huh? Pack your bags. That's a whole lot of I don't knows, and that's kind of stranges, huh? Asking an awful lot to suspend my disbelief here and just chug on the nonsense express. All aboard! How about I offer my own input? Ready? Here goes. I'm guessing, with good suspicion, assuming this lost crap is actually real, I probably didn't swap minds with the freaking volcano smith or the weather mage, let alone a direct member of the Dravekian bloodline. Just a hunch. I scrawl this opinion, heavy quotation marks, haphazardly across the journal, hoping to elicit the righteous fury I'm currently feeling in a way that's healthy. The page rips mid-first sentence. Mother Selver unmake me. I tear the page out and rewrite my entry slower, choking the pen a little less. Who even cares? As if I'm actually going to journal my thoughts or go on this wild goose chase without confirming, beyond a shadow of a doubt, this nonsense is somehow legitimate. As if this isn't all some wild scam I haven't fully quantified the method behind yet. Just because they can cast magic and fart out this insane premise with straight faces doesn't make it any more real. Heck, them being mages only adds to the way that they could be screwing with my mind. For all I know, they summoned the friggin' demon to chase me, summoned some bandits to attack me, and it's gross. It's a gross, ugly accusation that makes absolutely no sense, so I'm going to stop now. I don't believe them. No. It's bonkers. About my memory, I mean. Everything else is probably the truth, at least as far as their understanding of demons and magic can be trusted. That demon was at very least real, and they shooed it away. Those bandits were real, and Mia sent them packing with an electro sword. That means magic is obviously real. Gods above, that was actual magic. Still not over that. It's just the lost stuff. Mind swapping. Even if it falls in the same realm as magic, that doesn't make it real, okay? So what if I forgot some group I was with? That doesn't completely upend the reality of my entire existence, does it? I said as much last night, and Aiden affirmed to me that, no, my memories are real, they just might belong to someone else. But also not anymore, because now they actually belong to me, or her, or both, I guess. And maybe some are fabricated because the swap changes everyone's memories, apparently. So now we need to go find this other girl and perform, like, memory surgery and stitch together the proper bits from the improper. And that just also fixes everyone else's memory, I guess. I don't know, maybe. She gets this part, I get that bit. You get that trauma, I get the sibling memories, you get the dog memories, I get the merchant finances, you get the castle? Is this a divorce? See, this is just annoying. This is weird and obnoxious to even think about this from a fictional perspective, and I'm being asked to quantify the real-life consequences. Screw it. Easiest solution is to call BS and ignore them. Maybe I can give them the slip. A whole town full of active day laborers? I'm privy to that neck of the woods. Hell, I've ducked out on annoying tag-alongs before. Just buy them a new tent in Faenor and get your conscience cleaned up first. Then when the getting's good, go get lost in the market crowd and slip down an alley somewhere. Yeah. Then I find a convoy to hitch my stuff, pay them extra to give a crap about road thieves, pay them extra to hustle me and Cardi off to the towns and villages in the Derveckian Barrens, and casually settle into deep Eastern market spice trading, banking on the eventual hope the Wonder Twins get bored, get over it, get lost, and leave me alone. How's that for a magic trick? Thea's disappearing act in 50-plus steps repeated over the course of several months. The rebar from the top of the tent finally slides, falls, clonks me in the head, and pulls the tarpaulin off. Ow. Deserved? Most definitely. A chilly wind ruffles on cue, and I shiver away the dumb idea. Hey, speaking of tricks, you're forgetting one. They can cast seeking magic, you idiot. Aiden'll have you found in 15 seconds after you drop sight, or at least by the time you try to skip town. And if he's slow about it, that'll be 7 divers wasted on staging your cart for no reason. No good. Besides, it's just rude and childish to run away. Stand your ground and tell them no, Thea. Be a big girl. They aren't trying to scam me. They're weirdos, sure, but I can deal with weirdos. That's a time-proven fact. And hey, if they're actually nefarious crooks with eyes on my finances, there's a fat load of nothing I could do to stop 2 mages, so why even stress out over it? If this turns ugly when I go out there and refuse them, shut up. Quit whining. Nothing's gonna happen. It'll be a couple minutes arguing about the imperative nature of our mission, me insisting I'm not interested, I dip, they deal with it, and I get on with my life. They're not bad people. They can surely take no for an answer, right? I peek outside the tent flap looking for the siblings. They're easy to spot. Aiden's upturned his sister's backpack onto the grass, and he's folding her belongings into a more compact form. She's shouting, he's shouting. They're both great at shouting. Gotta give them that. Are you sure you want to pass up on their company, Thea? Seriously, how hard is it to keep your belongings organized? What the hell do you have in this pocket? Rocks? Walnuts. That's my nutsack. Call it literally anything else. You're just jealous I have a nutsack and you don't. Mia reaches into her nutsack and tosses one into her mouth, cracking the hard shell open with her bare teeth. Aiden appears to be having trouble reckoning with the moon alien he calls his sister. I just shut the flap and go back to mindlessly scribbling in the journal. They're weirdos. Harmless, bickering weirdos. And yet they know my life. To a scary degree, a very scary degree. The kind that bridges the gap between simply weird and genuinely unnerving. Aiden called them Intel, a group, some kind of organization. Someone was hired to dig into my personal history, and through them, they found me. Very, very scary. Creepy and gross, and just all sorts of wrong, but that's how it is. And it's like, why me, huh? What could they possibly gain from sleuthing into my background out of anyone? I'm not rich or anything. I'm no one important. Apparently they met with Darcy and Carlos and got a fuller picture of my life from talking to Mr. and Mrs. Serpio. All of my baggage aired to a bunch of strangers I've never even met. How'd they go about getting that information, huh? Were they hassled? Threatened? Those two seem genuine for the most part. Mia especially. The way she speaks in manic circles, how she acts when I look at her, I just see my brother. His stammering mannerisms, his moments of high energy between his normal reserved shyness, and also just how fast he talks. She's so much like Carlos it hurts. I haven't quite figured Aiden out yet, but he's proven to be considerate enough. Agreeable, even. I just don't see either of them as the strong-arm types. Not to good people, not to a poor Carcoan family with no outstanding criminal ties, as our people are often stereotyped with. It'd be one thing if I'd actually reciprocated a friendship with Sylvetta Pinn, some tie to her ex-Duke grandfather and all the shady dealings he got up to well before I was even born. Some way to get at him through a tangentially involved third party. But all the kids ignored her, me especially. Unless somehow Mr. Serpio's tied to the Pins? Yeah, right, that twit can't even tie a ribbon, fat chance. But that's the only way this makes any sense, right? If they have the manpower and the boldness to go track down two dusty Carcoan orphans and their old retired guardians as opposed to the passport-registered girl running cross-continent in the very public routes I take, maybe I've unwittingly housed my siblings with some old system cons. Come on, get serious, Thea. And I'm saying I could easily get the drop on him. Aerial lightning, crispy bear, pre-cooked. You can't even hit a stationary target, Mia. How are you supposed to cast a downward bolt from up in the tree and guarantee it's got enough voltage to kill it and not set the freaking thing on fire as a result? Fur burns, Mia. It's not preferred, fair. But I could still do it, and it's wet today. I doubt it'd burn that much. Besides, I could still make it taste good burnt. What the hell kind of a conversation did I miss, and how do I still know what they're talking about? They've been arguing about the stupid bear thing for like 20 minutes. Lightning blasts. She wants to shoot lightning at a bear to fry/kill/eat it. All right, I admit it. The prospect of refusing the pair is intimidating, to say the least. Not just because they know my life on an intimate level, not just because they're mages, they're freaking mages, No, that's all manageable. Sorta. Even I don't think about it too hard. What's not manageable is how sincerely they seem to believe I'm just going to go along with whatever they say. This is all a script to them. My disbelief is natural, an obstacle they've prepared to overcome with curated facts and pre-planned responses. Aiden was obviously regurgitating something he was told, repackaged for me. And you know what that sounds like, yeah? Like a scam. Yeah. This is definitely a scam. Perhaps these two are victims themselves, unwittingly dragging me in. Perhaps not. Perhaps they're pushing my doubts aside as quickly and efficiently as possible to rope me in before I realize what's happening. Enterprising schemers with dirty laundry behind smiling eyes. I've met those types before. The self-assured snakes with their chest puffed out and their eyes set on whatever they want. Make it snappy before the deal's gone. Sometimes it's obvious. Sometimes they're out-and-out braggarts and blowhards who demand the whole world from you on a silver platter. Whatever. Just ignore them and move on. Sometimes it takes a while. Sometimes it takes getting to know them for weeks, months even, before their true colors show. When they unveil their genuine interests, their real motives, hidden with the fear of knowing their scheme falls through when the facade drops. Is that Mia and Aiden?
All right, look, sit back. I'll give you a demo. Watching? See that clump of grass over there?
Get down! You're gonna set the damn forest on fire!
I put rocks there. It's fine.
Oh, wait, look, Aiden. That's the jerk who took the birdseed I left out earlier. I know it!
What? I'm gonna zap that furry bastard. Here we go.
Mia, stop! No! There's a roar of nearby thunder, followed by the sounds of tree limbs snapping, several screams, and 2 loud voices firing off a volley of expletives. Victor Delma Almighty, I want off. I've grown close to those types. Wasn't even the target in some cases. Friendly colleagues who seem so earnest and simple, just living their lives. Colleagues who actually sell unregulated garbage, parading as by the book. Who will give their customers lead-painted tools and contaminated food, fully aware of what they're doing. They'll tell you one day, after they've decided you're cool, you're not a snitch. It's just a trick of the trade. Everyone does it. Real dirtbags, those types. But they can be worse. They can be colleagues who never intend to tell you anything, even if you're not their sucker. They'll remember your name, your face. They'll offer you passage back to wherever you're headed. And you accept because why not? They're good people. It'll save you time and money, music to the ears of any merchant. And then you find a shipping log without a return label. Odd. And then you hear a noise while sitting by the hatch leading below deck. Sounds dangerous. And you ask about it, wondering if they're carrying animals. And the colleague can't help but find your question hilarious, telling you it's assorted fruit and lumber, that the noise must have been some poor sea creature colliding with the hull, chuckling as he walks away. And the days pass, and you catch the noise once or twice more. And then you notice the sailors don't talk. And then you notice the armed men aboard are carrying rifles, state-of-the-art, military grade. And then you get curious, and several days on the ocean with no land makes you a little paranoid, and you wait for nightfall to go below deck. And instead of fruit crates, you find cages. And instead of apples, you find... The page rips again. Is that Mia and Aiden? Is that what's happening here? Maybe it's not a scam at all. Maybe it's even worse. Maybe them stalking my life and my family is all a disgusting means to a nefarious end. Maybe I'm being trafficked. There's a soft rap on the tent wall, and I reflexively jump. I tear it open to find the pair looking down at me, all smiles. Aiden's hair is a bit frazzled, though. Do I smell burning?
Hey, Thea. No rush. Just making sure you're good.
Mia's snacking on some mix of nuts and dried fruit, flicking away raisins as she picks them out. The walnuts are pre-cracked this time. Just stop, Thea. I'm fine. Give me another minute. Almost done. I close the flap and listen for their footsteps to get distant. They continue prattling on, something about static electricity and walnuts. Sounds like Aiden's trying to poke his sister, leading to her yelping, him laughing, her joining in. Weirdos. I wait another minute for my heart to stop beating, and let the ugly memories run their awful familiar course. Don't worry, all right? Those people are safe. And he's in prison now. Forever. It's just not possible, all right? I can sit here all day dreaming up outlandish bullcrap about the hows and whys, but the fact is, I'm here. They know about me, just hopefully not everything about me. I can talk to the Faulkner siblings more, but Aiden already said he doesn't know how intel works. Whether that's true or not, it probably means I'm not getting a clear answer. And any other questions I ask will only feed into this absurd narrative about the lost, complete with planned responses and more scripted bullcrap. So unless I can catch them in a dispelling lie, for all intents and purposes, they're carrying an inconvenient version of their truth I can in good conscience ignore or contend with. So what then? It's legit? At least to these two, yes. Unless my initial judgment of their characters is wildly off. Sailing with that scumbag was a one-time-off naive mistake. Bet on it. I have to assume they believe what they're spouting. They're tied to these intel goons, regardless of moral differences or if the scam's reciprocal. And that means I'm currently at the mercy of whatever road their beliefs take me down. I don't think they intend to threaten me or my family, but I can't deny the possibility of this shadowy intel group doing it instead. So what do I do? What are my options, other than to play along? Just go with it. Until you have a better idea of what they really want, don't let up. Don't completely suck up their story, that's unrealistic. Ask questions. Work with the answers. You're curious, not a threat. Say that again, Thea. Curious, not a threat. That's your game plan, and at least for now, that angle makes the most sense. Just play along. My name is Thea Schroeder. I'm a traveling merchant and import trader employed by the Merchants Guild of Gin Sable, specifically its Carcoan branch. I've been informed that I'm a victim of the Lost Crisis, as I understand it. Per Mia and Aiden Faulkner's request, I'll be traveling to find my lost twin, thereby fixing my fragmented memories. I admit to doubts as to the current suspected lost twins. I do not see myself as being someone of particular merit, yet the four proposed to me seem highly lauded in their field of work. They bear titles and regency in positions well above my own, and I hold some disbelief that I resided in any part of their existence. I've never met any of these people, nor do I know anyone else who has, but I understand the importance of this mission and will cooperate to the best of my abilities. I ask that, at this time, I be allowed to continue performing my profession. I am a source of income for my family and fear it would jeopardize their well-being to take an extended leave of absence. I would be able to continue sending them money while traveling with Mia and Aiden, provided I have access to merchant guilds around Gin Sable, which shouldn't be a problem if I understand this mission accurately. Other than that, I will update when I can. Thea. I didn't expect them to read it immediately, but the siblings have formed a moving huddle over my sterile entry. Mia's literally reading it aloud, while Aiden quietly parses the contents. As I guessed, the task of reading proves tremendously difficult while simultaneously stepping over tree roots and under low-hanging branches. But it's also just a measly 3 paragraphs. Props to Mia for somehow reading it, dodging roots, and lugging my heavy cart all the while. Off-road wheels aside, she slips it around effortlessly. I wonder if she's using magic somehow. Perhaps a strength-enhancing spell? I ask that at this time. Source of income. Oh, hey! Absolutely! No. Of course you can keep doing your thing. Did you need money? We can call in to have some sent over. Mia looks conflicted, torn between the urge to either read the rest or placate my financials immediately. That will be unnecessary, but thanks anyway. I can handle it. Obviously, I don't want to rely on their goodwill and whatever debts it'll inevitably accrue. I already owe these two my lives and a new tent, no reason to tack on any additional IOUs. You two should duck, I say, tucking under the newest in a series of multi-pronged eye-poking branches. She meant lowering your head, Mia, not the bird. You see what I have to deal with? Shut up, gods. They both managed to duck in time, but it also looks like they just finished reading. Aiden manages to stumble anyway, snagging his backpack and briefly springing backward. His sister, true to form, takes her golden opportunity to laugh at his arrogant expense. Perhaps fairly earned, given the greater physical weight she's carrying without any difficulty whatsoever. Yeah. Is there any reason this path isn't cleared? It's a bit rough going. Aiden untangles and catches up, grumbling something about lazy trailblazing. It's the woods, dude. Can't bushwhack roots and tree limbs grow back. Mia, with clear intent to mock her less active brother, dances limber steps between the roots, siding up to the next branch to lift it for us. Don't worry, I'll grab your cart in just a sec. Thank you, Mia.
After you. She beams, her eyes fixed well over my head. I catch the branch just before she lowers it, anticipating her rudeness before it's even affected Aiden. He makes a fair point, though. They really should touch up this route. It's clearly been years since anyone replaced the signs or made the pitch to set stones. Aiden thanks me as he steps under the branch, steadying himself against the trunk. Gods forbid they actually pay, but I'll take a stone path as a moderate option. Mia sheepishly goes back for the cart, smiling away her sibling-fueled audacity. You've been this way before, right, Thea?
At least a couple dozen times.
Wow. How come no one's paved it yet?
Not enough foot traffic. East just leads to all the barren bums. Unless you're heading to Salden or Nodlas, it's just not worth the trek. Besides, most people just go down Agony or take the Endo, whether they're exploring or vacationing.
Gotcha. That's what I thought.
You have no idea what you just said, says Aiden.
Neither do you,
Mia retorts. I'm not pretending I know the geography of Drevik, no. So why are you?
Hey, so what's the barren bums, Salden, Nodlas, Agony, and the Endo?
Sure, just ignore me.
The magic demons in trench coats also happen to be moon people. Great. Or maybe they just spawned from the Guinea itself, tearing up the ground with epic hole knowledge instead of what a friggin' train is. Is this supposed to be a cultural exchange?
Where the heck did you two come from again?
Hello, the Dravekian Barrens? Huge looming forest covering half the easternmost landmass of Drevik? Surely you've heard of it. Oh, yeah, I know that. So, are the Barren Bumps people who live there?
It's also the colloquial name for all the towns and villages on the eastern coast, but yeah. Rather than let them interrupt, I'll just rip the whole bandage off and show these two what an informed description sounds like. None of that "I'll get to it in a minute" crap. Not a lot of export down that way, unless you mean the two cities of Salden and Nodlas. They're at the western tip of the Barrens, about a 2 weeks walk from here, same with an ox pole, half that with a horse. Half a day by train if you start from Endopolis to the west, that's the Endo rail line, but most people just call it the Endo, and 2 days by boat if you hitch from Prunella. That's Agony River, though technically you start in Lake Terraclaim. Get it? Most people don't walk Vidnir Woods for anything but personal use, and that means it's on CRISPR locals to upkeep it. And considering the most recent CRISPR locals we met tried to stab and rob us, well, you get the picture. I'm assuming those bandits run some kind of fleecing operation using stolen goods from the odd passerby too stingy to buy train fare, but it's probably just one of many unsavory dealings they participate in. I doubt Cheesehead would have been much use deterring them in hindsight. I got pretty lucky not running into any trouble on the way in. Realizing I've gotten ahead of them mid-speech, I stop and wait for the pair to catch up. When I look back, I find two sets of enthralled eyes staring at me, including Mia's. She quickly looks off when our eyes meet, but Aiden's clearly burning to ask me some questions. I take it you've been to all of these places? Mm-hmm. Work keeps me mostly stationed in the cities and bigger towns, but I do deliveries to the smaller settlements too. I just got back from an order for CRISPR, and now I've got some wool to peddle back in Faenor. In spring? Wouldn't wool be more sought after in the colder months? Strike Mountain sheep have thicker coats than field sheep. It's a little less uniform, so it's not as ideal for styled clothing. You're correct that it'd be better for winter coats, but it's also great for stuffing pillows and toys or as cushions for a nursery. Fascinating. It's clear you're well-versed in trade, but also travel accommodations, Thea. I'm amazed there's so many methods of heading east. It's good we happen to find you on this direct route. What a kiss-up. I smirk away my blush, reminding myself he's trying to scam me. Probably. Maybe. Oh God, if she'd gone by boat. Thanks for not going by boat. You saved us a ton of time, actually. Funny how the saving time is non-reciprocal, huh? I kid. If anything, them saving me from the demon, kinda, and the bandits only hastened my return. Believe you me, I would have if I'd been actually heading to Salden. Wait, so where did you two come from then? CRISPR as well? Aiden answers, showing me his comically large map again and tapping the spot in the mountains with his finger. We came down from the mountains. Lex, if you've heard of it. Our base is stationed near there. We had to walk through CRISPR, and we were able to glean your whereabouts from a Mr. Finley. Ugh, that's just creepy. There they go, demonstrating tracking skills again, this time of a more personal nature. I doubt Intel gave them an order that specific. That's more on them. Asking around town for my whereabouts. Eesh. Mr. Finley was my contractor. 5 pounds of allspice, imported from Narvest and processed in Insignia, as well as 2 sets of size 19.5 ankle waders. The former is for a limited time special he plans to offer on his menu, featuring local mountain fish dishes. The latter is for retrieving said fish. And if you're curious about the shoe size, he's an Elkin, 13 feet tall, a modest height for his collaborative. If you're further curious how he feels as a fisherman unable to even digest the fish he catches, judging by the price he dropped on the allspice, I doubt he's that bent out of shape about it. Then again, he did send those 2 nits after me, so... Golly, though, you save 2 whole weeks if you go by boat or train? That's crazy.
Wait, so they have a railroad running through the forest?
Mia, despite her aptitude for forest walking, clearly sounds cheated out of a train ride. 3, actually. Should be a couple miles north of here. We're going to see him in an hour or 2. So that was an option, wasn't it? Is it all right if I ask why you were traveling by foot then, Thea? Aiden, in the same vein as his sister, also sounds cheated. I detect a hint of deeper annoyance in his tone, though, juxtaposing Mia's more simple disappointment. He's wondering what the heck I'm doing bushwhacking when expedited transportation exists. Which sounds to me like the slight hint of a semi-frequent whiner. I can see why Mia delights in annoying him, if just a little. Well, far be it from me to forgo the occasional indulgence. I halt mid-step and twist up to face him. Calling me cheap, Aiden? No, of course not. It's spring. Winter's over. It's all warm again. Can't you just feel that toasty sun overhead? I stretch exaggeratedly, basking in the overcast sky while Mia stifles a laugh. She gets it. Wow, why get crammed in a stuffy train car when I can just stretch the old legs, yeah? Aiden's scowl resurfaces, the same one he made about 11 times last night. First time it's been directed at me, though. Yes, fair enough. That's a sentiment I can certainly agree with. Sorry, Thea. I just heard there was a way he could sit on his ass while moving places without doing anything at all and got a little excited, that's all. Hush. Aiden's sister and I do no such thing, sharing a boisterous laugh at his hopefully unbothered expense. I still decide to cut the joke, just in case. I'm kidding. Trains don't run through this way too often, maybe twice a month. The rail's a direct line for Faenor, Endopolis, and Timpani. Mostly for mining exports and weekend labor relief. Heading up to Salden by train is more of a festive thing, and only one line even stops at Crisper. Last run had me off tempo, so I was looking at either a 2-week halt with a full-day trip, or a 10-day round walk. I chose the latter. For the record, I am in fact cheap. I know there's not too many frugals around saving divers and time in exchange for legwork these days, but I take some pride in being a worker bee. No, that makes total sense. Why wait when you can just get there faster on foot? I'm with you, Thea, totally. Mia holds her hand out towards me, fist clenched. Before I can glean her meaning, the girl nearly slips, her leg wobbling on the corner of a root that splits in 2 directions at her toe line. Ooh, that was a sneaky one. Shut up, Aiden, not one to miss a beat before he's even said anything, pipes up at the near accident. Friendly reminder, I can't heal a broken neck. Step carefully, all right? No flashy movements, please. He softens his voice, speaking with the same inflection he took last night while comforting her. Another side of Aiden, a more gentle one, the older brother side. Though I don't think he's actually older. They're twins, I suppose?
It's complicated, haha.
Whatever, I'll worm that answer out of him later. I must say, I'm glad you know your way around Drevik, Thea. It's kinda shameful to admit, but I wouldn't call our geographical preparation adequate. Further evidence these two exist in a separate plane of reality, though I suppose it's also possible they were just sheltered. Some base in the Strike Mountains. Apparently near Lex. Oh yeah?
This is a heavy-ass book you had here. It's all about demons? That's what you learned instead of what the endo rail line is?
Pretty much. That and magic, who the lost are, so on and so forth.
If those two were near Lex, that's just embarrassing. Lex House is one of the most prestigious universities on the entire continent, let alone in Drevik. Not knowing basic geography and travel systems is a little weird. A shame these two aren't educated alumni from Lexicon, but maybe that'd be insufferable for an entirely different reason. We know other stuff, too, Mia chimes in, suddenly energized. Math and science stuff. How to read and write. Aiden even knows how to do algebra.
You should know as well, Mia.
Aiden sounds utterly dejected. Kinda. I got the easy stuff. Our teachers suck, though, if I'm being blunt. That gets a laugh out of me. I'm sure they'd love to hear you say that.
Yeah, well, maybe they shouldn't have sucked then.
Damn, even Aiden agreed with his sister on this one. Sucky teachers, huh? Kind of a rat hole did these two grow up in exactly, so near to the university. Never heard of any major establishment adjoining Lex, though I've admittedly only climbed the mountain twice. And one of those times I didn't even bother stopping within Lex. So it's one of my rare experience holes within Drevik. Before I can ask anything further, though, Aiden changes the topic.
Moving back to your entry, Thea. I was going to ask you about the doubts you mentioned with the lost targets. I'm happy to offer more information, so don't be afraid to ask.
Clever boy. Switching from one thing I really wanted to ask to another thing I really, really wanted to ask even harder. Intentional? 100%. Obvious diversion tactic. Super predictable. I bite, of course. Think you got the crux of my doubts already between the screeching and the tent smashing, yeah? Sorry again. We needed a new tent. It's fine. Glad it could offer some, stress relief? She had to do an arm wind-up to finish that sentence.
Was that a question?
No. But did it offer stress relief? I'm a little disappointed I won't be able to lock eyes with this girl when she asks stupid questions like that to parse my exasperation. I'll settle for her brother. He's making the same face. No, unfortunately. Why, princess? Oh, see, I actually answered this pretty well in my own journal entry earlier. Here, just ignore the bit where Aiden bitched at me about PS. No, I saw that. What'd you mean about this queenly essence crap? Oh, you read that, huh? Gotcha. Hello? Why the hell are you getting flustered by that, Mia? What are these double standards?
Right. Probably best you don't check too far back in the journal yet. We'll get to what we said there soon, okay, Thea?
Aiden too, huh? You two literally read mine out loud. Also, you had me write the freaking entry on the same page. How was I supposed to know reading your part was off limits?
Right, well, technically it's fine, just, we really didn't need to use the same page, Mia.
Hey, I barely wrote on that one. It ran between the front and the back. Besides, the page would feel so lonely without being filled out, you know? Like it didn't get to do its job of being fully written on. What? Shut up. Don't give me that look. Not sure how she can even gauge Aiden's look while staring off in the complete opposite direction. Mia's bizarre personification of the journal aside, I'm choosing to focus on the bigger implications here. Argue later, please. Hey, Aiden, you agreed with her. Either of you want to speak on why I'm so clearly Princess Drevik?
Yes, sorry, I did agree with Mia. And I meant it, too. You do possess what I would refer to as a royal essence. How you present yourself, it's...
His arm rolls, but no more words come out. I applaud the impressive feat of shoving his entire foot in his mouth, but I can finish the sentence for him. I shout and grandstand like I own the place. Rather than Aiden, my insinuation of his meaning kickstarts Mia's placation. I mean, your food last night was really delicious. And the way you speak, it's like you've got total control, you know? Of your voice, that's what I meant. For the briefest moment, I wonder if she's implying something about my voice. But I shrug that aside. I don't think that's what they mean. For what it's worth, it seems like Mia's at least decent at placation. That almost sounded like a genuine compliment, but I'm not buying it. Though maybe I should pretend I took it as one. I think that was a compliment. It is, 100%! Another Mia thumbs up and another fist towards me, this time with added arm wiggling. Am I supposed to be doing something here?
She probably doesn't know what a dealmaker is, Mia.
She's a merchant, dude. Of course she knows. When I don't reciprocate whatever response she's expecting, her smile droops. Am I doing it wrong? I don't really know what wrong means in this context, but, probably not. Mia looks crestfallen, unwilling to lower her hand. Aiden clears his throat and tries to redirect the conversation yet again.
Regardless, it's common for lost to differ wildly from their twin, whether physically or emotionally. These just happen to be the 4 potentials, hopefully including your actual lost twin.
Hopefully? So you mean it's not even guaranteed I actually swapped with one of these 4?
Unfortunately, yes. Intel is rarely wrong, though it happens, in which case we'd be contacted mid-search by an Elephantis member who would either ask us to return to base or mail us a new log of potential twins.
My scammer alarm bells are going crazy, but can you blame me? This guy just set me up with a lifetime deal. Even more wild goose chases, endlessly renewable. Oh, great. Can't wait to realize all along I'd actually swapped with Judy, the sea trench atronarch, located 1,000 miles offshore and a mile below the ocean. Oops. How could we make this obvious mistake? Thea acts just like an antiquity gunner shark. You can see it in the way she gnashes her teeth when angry, or how she stands at 8.5 feet tall, with gray skin and an orange underbelly. It's a catalyst. The lit fuse of another raised voice stomping tantrum, and I've easily recovered the energy spent from the last one. I'm more than ready to launch another volley of exasperated question marks. Well, I was. But then Mia started shriek laughing at the antiquity gunner shark part. And then Aiden lost it at the 8.5 feet tall bit. And now there's 2 teenagers falling over each other at my stupid exaggerated joke. Sorry. I know, right? I just want to poke someone from Intel's brain. It's crazy. Where the heck do they find these people? And then Mia agrees with me that, no, there are limits here. There is a suspension of disbelief to being body-mind swapped with a shark, let alone these other oddballs.
Okay, sorry, that was unprofessional.
Oh, shut up. It was funny. And then Aiden's apologizing for breaking character, proving once more he isn't very good at it. And now there's 2 teenagers showing me their earnest selves.
It was funny, excuse me. And yeah, Intel's weird and they never explain anything. It's always bothered me as well, so you aren't alone there. Our non-serious interpretations aside, we're just following the directives to seek these 4 out. Hopefully 3. Really don't want to have to go find Saren with what little they offered us. Gods, no.
And then there's a teenage boy, asking the gods not to make him drag me cross-continent to find someone. Seriously, ugh. I promise, Thea, gonna be plenty upset for you if you didn't swap with Princess Heather. We can just skip the whole continent trot, you know? And then there's a teenage girl, voicing her preemptive fear that her theory could be wrong, that this could take longer than a week to do. And now there's 2 teenagers, Mia and Aiden, being themselves. Taking the mask off, though it was paper thin. They didn't hide it very well. At least as far as mask-off moments go, this is incredibly tame. I want you to get swapped quickly, but I'm not going to give up until then, okay? Before you know it, everything will be back to normal. Mia immediately winces and sets the cart down, stopping.
Mia.
And then there's a mistake. A misspoken line. One the girl catches immediately, though the boy speaks up anyway. He was probably thinking the same thing. Oh, sorry, didn't mean it like that, Thea. It's casual. A soft mistake. I mean, I'm currently living normal. It's okay. No harm done. Right. Sorry. I just meant you'd have all your memories back. You'll get back what was switched around, and we can decide what to do going forward. Whatever you want to do with that.
It's not okay. Harm has been done, evidently. None of this is okay. And if I'm actually a volcano blacksmith up in Telegonia, what then? For some reason, my voice feels hollow. I feel like I'm floating several inches above myself, looking down, barely paying attention to my answer, focusing my all on the pair of Mia and Aiden. Do I keep working for the Merchant Guild, or do I forge metal ice picks and silverware? If I'm some mage who controls the weather, it's not really practical to waste my time selling wool in Faenor, huh? If I'm a princess, why would I even bother? I'm rich. Sounds like whoever my lost twin is has a lot to do with what happens next, huh? And I see it. I see their minds rattle, chugging back to familiar rhythm, dropping that brief sliver of humanity, the laugh, the bickering, all of it. Back to this. Not a single solitary part of this is okay, and it's so blatantly clear on their faces. And I want to rip the journal out of Mia's hands and shred my childish entry to pieces. I want to rewrite the entire thing. How dare I? How dare I even equate a fraction of that monster's actions to them? How cruel. I don't trust their methods. I can't even say I trust them, to be honest. But bad people don't make faces like that. They don't even know how. Genuine pain over what they said to me. Over the thought that they'd hurt me, poked a tender spot, and didn't apologize enough for doing so. That's what I'm supposed to be taking away from their expressions right now. Yes? So, why? That's entirely up to you. What you want to do with your life once you've reclaimed everything you've lost. You aren't obligated to do anything you were doing pre-swap or post-swap, just as your twin isn't. That's not our place to dictate, all right? Why does it piss me off so much?
Okay, Thea?
Because it's not faith. It's not belief. It might be the truth to them, but that's not paramount. It's what they said yesterday with the demon scare. It's what Mia said after chasing the bandits off, when she hugged me close and calmed me down, wiped my blood and reassured me. When I realized my shouting was bothering Mia and I saw that same expression he made. How he wanted to say more, wanted to curse me out for making Mia feel that way. The drip of venom when he asked me to stop, and he said, please. He said, please. It's why they let me sleep with them last night. Why they're not angry I smashed their tent. Why they're invested in whatever I say, whatever I'm feeling. Why they're looking at me now with pity, othering me. I'm broken. My choice, huh? Sure. There's not a chance in hell it's my choice. It's my choice to be their patient, under the pitying do-no-wrongs watch of Mia and Aiden. I still don't know if it's all a friggin' scam yet. To be honest, I might just prefer it is. I don't say much else today. It takes us just over an hour to reach the tracks. By then, the moon's lightened in tune with the weather. The sun peeks just enough through the cloud cover, causing Mia to giddily tear off her jacket, skipping and leaping over the rails in her jet black tank top. Lunch is prepped. Dinner a couple hours later, after even more walking, this time with the tracks to guide us east.
It takes us one more day before we breach the forest, already well on our way to Faenor. Okay, and that's been Chapter 5. I have not even started Chapter 6 yet, so it's probably going to be a little bit before that's out. In any case, though, hope to see you there for that. Have a good one.